Getting your bearings in any survival-esque game can be a daunting task, and with so much to see and do in V-Rising, it's no different. In this guide, we will discuss beginner tips and tricks to get you started off on the right foot in V-Rising. Wood and stone become super important as you make progress, and though it might be a boring task to slap things with your weapon and gather, it's super necessary in V-Rising to have a good amount of both materials early on. To build your very first castle that actually has a roof for coverage from the sun, you are going to need a massive amount of stone bricks and planks. These are made from wood and stone, of course, stone brick being made in the grinder and planks coming from the sawmill. You will also need wood and stone for other recipes, so it's best to just stockpile as many of these materials as well as others like rugged hide, copper ore, fiber, and more. This way, you have a decent amount of it as you make further progress killing bosses, and you don't need to constantly make material runs. It's also worth noting that there are weapons that make gathering easier, like the mace that does increase damage to minerals, so it would be better for gathering stone, ores, and gems. The axe, of course, is better at knocking down trees, so use it when gathering wood. These just make gathering much faster, so it's of course recommended to use them to save some time, but not required. Several important recipes come from completing the main objectives you see in the top corner of your screen. From armor to your castle heart to stone coffins and servant coffins, these objectives should be done as you make progress, not after or later on down the line. I made the mistake of solely focusing on bosses and not completing any major objectives after the initial tutorial and ended up missing out on some vital content without even realizing it. So make sure that you do as much as you can and then continue to make progress in the game and then continue with new objectives as you are able to gather the new materials for the new objectives. Your gear level is what determines how many bosses you can see in the V-Blood tracker, as well as the ability to take them down with ease. Getting your gear level up is an integral part of making real progress in V-Rising, and though it is an extremely tedious task to gather all of the materials, find all the books to learn the new recipes for weapons and armor, and take down specific bosses for their crafting stations, it's well worth the time and effort. Getting tables like the loom, tailoring bench, anvil, and more will make your life much easier in terms of boss battles and enemy encounters. Plus, you will unlock cooler looking gear and weapons to utilize. Of course, you already know this one, but let me tell you, it can be hard to juggle all of the tasks in V-Rising at once. Killing bosses on top of gathering enough materials, all while making sure your blood pool is high and mighty, can be daunting. But killing bosses is one of the main features in this game, and to truly progress, you need to track them down and suck their life essence right out of their veins. Bosses aren't the same as they used to be either, as they no longer drop specific spells when killed. They now drop spell points that can be used in the spellbook to choose what spell you'd like. There are 3 tiers of spells, each boss dropping a specific tier of spell points for you to use. Take Keely the Frost Archer for an example, as she drops 1 frost spell point, and you can choose from these 3 tier 1 spells, rather than only getting the frost spell Frostbat from her like you used to before 1.0 launched. This minor change was actually huge, and it lets us pick our playstyle instead of it being chosen for us. Not only do bosses give you powerful spells to use in battle, but they drop recipes and crafting stations that you will need to make even more progress and level your gear and weapons up. Plus, some of the bosses drop extremely useful potions and books that will teach you even more recipes. That's going to do it for this quick beginner's tips and tricks guide. As always, if you like the video, then like the video. And if you like my content in general, then please subscribe to my channel because it means the absolute world to me. And I will see you in the next one. Bye!